Right. So, you see, as we have discussed, as we know, nakshatras are very important in horoscope analysis. We discussed about it. So I thought, why not take an example? And using that example, we understand that how nakshatras indicate predictions, how nakshatras help us in predicting through a horoscope. So for that, I am going to take the horoscope of Modi ji, which all of we, I believe, know well, right? So it will be easy to follow with the analysis. I take Libra ascendant for Modi ji with ascendant in Swati Nakshatra, right? So, of course, this is not, it will not be possible to explain all the nakshatra techniques in one small video, right? Because nakshatra course I am doing, which will talk about nakshatra techniques, and to cover all the nakshatra techniques, it will take me 75 hours. And apparently, I cannot make a 75-hour long video, right? So, right, only a little bit of techniques with a lot of hints I will put into this video so that you can understand how the analysis of horoscope is done. Example, ascendant. Ascendant goes into Swati Nakshatra, and what I quickly remember with the Swati, you see Swati, the pearl. In Swati Nakshatra, rain happens. The rain drop goes into the mouth of the oyster cell, which makes the pearl. This Swati well indicates the life of Modi ji. How in Gujarat there was a political crisis where Modi ji was given a chance, and he took the chance, and exploiting the chance a little bit, he became not deputy CM but CM. And how party BJP again gave him chance in 2014, and with every chance, like with the Swati Nakshatra, the pearl comes out. He shined like pearl and took the stage all to himself. In fact, I will say, captured the stage like no one else. This is Swati. So whenever we see Swati in the ascendant, we will say that this person is going to get some very fantastic chances, and these chances will be sheer out of luck. As you know, the background of Modi ji, he was not at all wanting to become a politician initially, at least it looks like, right? But chance will be there. So Modi ji, who was going from spiritual organizations to spiritual organizations, wandering here and there in his young age, from the Swati in the ascendant, you can easily say that you will get chance, and you are here to become precious like pearl. You are going to be one of the most important persons, right? Because of Swati in the ascendant. Ascendant nakshatra is more or less life theme. So this life theme we have to understand, this life theme we have to talk about, right? Then another very important thing will be moon. Where is moon for Modi ji? For Modi ji, moon is in second house in Anuradha nakshatra. Anuradha. Anu. Anu means small, you can say, right? But I particularly believe that Anuradha Nakshatra gives a lot of followers, right? And it is because it is lauded by Mitra, Mitra the Vedic deity, and Anuradha gives a lot of followers also. So because Moon is in Anuradha Nakshatra, which gives a lot of followers, Modi ji, his popularity is he's quite popular. And Mitra, the planet, Mitra, the Vedic deity, also is very much related to friendship and keeping his promise, which Modi ji keeps at least to his friends, right? And also, Mitra as a Vedic deity. So why Mitra is known as Mitra? Because when you give when you give sacrifice to the fire, oblation to the fire, it is the Mitra who takes the offering and makes it reach to the deity. Now, because Mitra helps in this transmission of giving oblations to fire and making it reach the deity for which the oblation is being made, he is known as Mitra, friend, who is friend to the humanity, right? Which does indicate that Mitra have a lot of connections, and because of this, Anuradha indicates a lot of connections, and because Modi ji have moon in Anuradha, he have a lot of connections, the connections which have gave him everything, the connections which made him a good contender for deputy CM once, the connection which made him CM, and the same connections which have made him PM also, right? So Anuradha. Apart from, along with this moon, Mars is there, that is in Vishakha, saving grace. If the moon and Mars must have been in the same nakshatra, then Mars being a malefic with moon in the same nakshatra must have afflicted the moon. But here it is not the case. Here Mars is in another nakshatra, Vishakha. Vishakha is the one with branches. And who is this Mars? This Mars is the seventh lord, and this Mars is the second lord. Having branches, Vishakha, ruled by Indragni, Indra and Agni. You see, Indra, the ruler, the god, the lord of the gods, demigods, in fact, and Agni, the commander in chief of the gods, come together. And this nakshatra is ruled by, this nakshatra is occupied by Mars, who himself indicate Agni. So in this nakshatra of Indra and Agni, both of whom indicate professional superiority, there is Mars, the fiery planet, and Mars, the commander in chief. See, Mars is the only planet who is commander in chief, whose position is talked about, right? Venus and Jupiter are ministers, but who is minister in chief, you don't know. Sun and Moon are kings. King can become by inheritance also. But commander in chief particularly talks of position. And because this commander in chief, fiery Mars, is in the nakshatra of Indragni Vishakha, it have given him quite a high position. In fact, not only that, this is in the second house. Vishakha means something with branches. Second house indicates family. He have a large family. In fact, he will have a lot of well-wishers because of the same. But you see, when this Indra and when this Agni comes to marriage, Indra is not bad for marriage. Indra have a very good wife, Sachi. But Agni is not that good for marriage. Fire in marriage, otherwise in astrology also, create extramarital affair. In this case, it's not affairs, but Mars as seventh lord going into a nakshatra which is somehow connected to Agni, Indragni in Vishakha, have disturbed his marital life to a great extent. But you see, Indra is there, power is there. And owing to that, as Sachi is very much dedicated, devoted to Indra, in the same manner, the wife of Modi ji is also very much dedicated, devoted to him. She have not opted for divorce, neither have she done anything which should be any problem to Modi ji. Right? So, yes, when you see the seventh lord in second house, apparently seventh lord in second house is an altogether not a bad scenario for marriage. Particularly when you see the same seventh lord in second house in own Rashi, you will in fact say a good marriage, but you see how the nakshatras change it. It's no longer a good marriage at all. In fact, talking of moon, who is the 10th lord going into the second house in debilitation, you will say 10th lord going into second house in debilitation is problematic. But no, this is Anuradha. Anuradha means someone who have followers. Who will have followers? One who is very accomplished in profession only will have followers. So despite the 10th lord being debilitated, it have gave him so good profession, all courtesy to the nakshatras. Now comes the point, fifth house, there is Jupiter. The horoscope of Modi ji I have not shared. I have written an article on the horoscope of Modi ji that must be available on my website, which have all the nakshatras and all. Because it is a nakshatra analysis, I am talking of planets. He's a Libra ascendant. You can well know planet is lord of which house. Even if you can't know, I am telling you that. Nakshatra, I am telling you. So I don't believe it is needed to share the horoscope. What you will do with that, right? And also I am promoting that you carefully listen to the video in order to learn, right? Because care and patience is very much needed if you are learning with me. You may not like my approach also, but this is for your betterment only. Coming to Jupiter, which is situated in the fifth house in Dhanistha nakshatra. Dhanistha. Dhan comes into the name, wealth. This Jupiter is the lord of the third house, and Jupiter is lord of the sixth house. It is situated in fifth house, planet connected to Dhanistha. Nishtha can also be translated as dedication, devotion. And as you know, fifth house, which is intelligence, Jupiter is there, and he is very much dedicated, devoted. Nisht, Atmanisht is a word. Nisht, dedicated, devoted, disciplined, committed. In fact, Nisht is committed, right? It's committed towards Jupiter in the fifth house, committed towards his promise, particularly of the Ram Mandir. Jupiter indicates the temples and all. So related to the Ram Mandir, he is committed towards that. In fact, if you go deeper into Vedic astrology, temple is indicated by sun. What does Jupiter indicate? Jupiter indicate finances and the economic condition of India, regarding which Modi ji is very, very optimistic. is also indicated by the same thing, right? Nishtha, he is dedicated, devoted towards it. In fact, if you don't remember, let me remind you how it all started. Taking the black money back to India, right? It all started with black money, right? Not only that, I will not translate the Dhanishta, the Dhan in the Dhanishta to be wealth, because Dhan is wealth, apparently is in Hindi only. But this is ruled by Vasu. Vasu. Ashtavasavaha. Vasu is lord of air. And you know what does air indicate? Strength. Why so? You see, Vayuputra Hanuman, Vayuputra Bhim. Why they are known for? Why Bhim and Hanuman is known for? They are known for their strength, but not only strength, intelligence also. So because Jupiter is in Dhanistha Nakshatra in the 5th house, mentally, with his thoughts, with his ideas, he is very much dedicated, devoted. He is mentally powerful. And it is third lord. In his effort also, he is powerful. It is sixth lord. To curb his competition, to succeed into efforts, he will use his most powerful tools to crush his enemies that he have done. Why I am saying most powerful tools? Because Vayu indicates power, showing the greatest power. We all know about a lot of controversies related to it, right? I'm only hinting at a few things. More to your intelligent people, you yourself will understand, right? So this particular thing is there. So because Dhanistha is ruled by Vasu, Vasu which indicates strength, Jupiter in the 5th house in the nakshatras of Vasu gives him a lot of mental strength, gives him a fixity in his mental ideas, owing to which he have achieved multiple things, particularly related to temple so far, because Jupiter indicates deity, and he aspires, and I believe will also be able to do related to finance also, because Jupiter related finance, right? But there is one thing is there, Uttara Bhadrapara, there is Rahu, right? So a little bit problem this Rahu is causing, but more or less, I believe good result should be there. Not only that, because it indicates a lot of power. Dhanishta ruled by Vasus. Vasus indicates a lot of power. Jupiter is third lord, so he have a lot of powers under his hand, in his control. I don't believe there was any PM before who had a lot of power, except for Indira Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, and few more. So he have became very powerful. Why so? Because of Jupiter, the third lord, in the 5th house in Dhanishta Nakshatra. Coming to the planet which is in the 6th house, that is Rahu. Rahu, who is going into Uttara Bhadraprada Nakshatra. Uttara Bhadra, Bhadra good. Bengali, there is a word Bhadraloko, gentleman. And Uttar is later on. Whenever you see more planet in Uttar Nakshatras, Uttara Falguni, Modi ji have Mercury in Uttara Falguni. Mercury is the 9th lord. Uttara Nakshatras, Uttara later on. Major planet goes into Uttara Nakshatras. Good things come later on in life, second half in life. He have 9th lord Mercury in Uttara Nakshatra. The Raja Yoga, the fortune came in second part of life. In fact, Sun, which again indicate Raja Yoga, is also in Uttara Falguni. Saturn is in Uttara Falguni. Rahu is in Uttara Bhadraprad. Ketu is in Uttara Falguni. Lot of planet in Uttara Nakshatras. And because there are a lot of planets in Uttara Nakshatras, because of this reason only, in the second part of life, he is having maximum Raj Yogas. And whenever you see in second part of life one is having maximum Raj Yogas, you can very easily say that in India and in world, this person will be into politics, because 80% of the time, people become successful in politics only in second part of life only. In earlier part of life, those who enjoy Raj Yogas are generally into government jobs. This is the difference between Purva Nakshatras and Uttara Nakshatras. If one have no planet in Purva Nakshatras and Uttara Nakshatras, then either one enjoys the power throughout the lifetime or at no times at all. That depends. But this Uttara Bhadraprada Nakshatra, which is occupied by Rahu in the 6th house, this Uttara Bhadraprad is lorded by Ahir Budhanya. Ahir Budhanya is a type of snake, apparently you can say. But there are two things are there. Budhanya indicates the intelligence. And Ahi also means snake and also means enemy. This Rahu in the nakshatra of Ahir Budhanya indicates that how cleverly he have crushed his enemies, how clearly he have given a particular name to his political opponent who is more or less more educationally qualified, but he is being given a name which implies loser. How? By using the social media and other tools intelligently, by playing with emotions and preferences of people. How? Using religion, he have crushed the growth of his enemies. Will you not say that it is an budhanya or an intelligent step? If not, then what you will call it? And remember, as I must have said earlier, that the nakshatras in the Rashi make up the Rashi. So Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is intelligent. But where does the maximum intelligence, which comes to Pisces by being lorded by Jupiter, manifests? That manifests in Uttara Bhadraprad, which is ruled by Ahirbudanya, which indicates intelligence. Now come to 11th house. Three planets are there: Sun in own Rashi, and Venus, and Jupiter, and Saturn. Sorry. Venus is in Purva Falguni. Because it is in Purva Falguni, Purva indicates earlier, Venus indicates marriage. He was married quite early in life. Yes, yes, absolutely, yes. And there is Sun and there is Saturn in Uttara Falguni. Uttara Falguni Nakshatra, Falgus. Falgu, enjoyment. Uttara Falguni indicates enjoyment. And because the Raja Yoga makers, Sun, who is in own Rashi in 11th house, indicating a lot of gains, fulfillment of wishes and desires, and Saturn, who is the Rajyokari planet, the 4th lord and 5th lord, is in 11th house, more or less with connection to Venus, the Lagna lord is also making Raj Yoga, is an Uttara Falguni Nakshatra, indicating that Raj Yoga will be enjoyed in second part of life. And this Uttara Falguni is ruled by Aryama. Sometimes Uttara Falguni is taken to be ruled by Bhaga, sometimes it is taken to be ruled by Aryama, but I believe it should be taken to be ruled by Aryama. Right. So it is ruled by Aryama, Aryaman, Aryas. You know that Arya is considered a superior grace, superior clan. I just do not want to go into this Aryan Dravidian debate. I am not an historian. Whatever opinion I have over it can be biased. So I'm not going by that. But one thing is very certain, that Arya or Aryan means superior. Superior race, superior clan, or whatever you call it, that's not our task. The only thing that is there, that Uttara Falguni being ruled by Aryama meaning superior, does indicate superior things, does indicate superiority. In fact, does indicate the most superior position in the country, that is becoming a prime minister. Right. So Uttara Falguni will always indicate superiority. When you see major planets in Uttara Falguni under good influence, you can easily say that person will be most successful in his profession. Top of the organization, head of a department, easily he can become that he have became. And oh my God, very good. The Venus is situated in Purva Falguni, not in Uttara Falguni, because if Venus was in Uttara Falguni, then with two malefics, Saturn and Sun, he should be severely afflicted. And if he have become severely afflicted, Venus, the Lagna Lord, there must be no Raj Yoga at all, but slightly it is saved, and for good only. So this Venus, which is in Purva Falguni, goes into the nakshatra of Bhaga. Bhaga, you know, from the word Bhaga comes the word Bhagavan. From the word Bhaga comes the word Bhagavan. And Bhag is the ruler of the mains, ruler of the ancestors, you can also say. Aryama is also taken as ruler of the ancestors, ruler of all the Pitrus. Bhaga is also taken as ruler of the Pitrus. In fact, Bhaga is a god of marriage. Bhaga is primarily invoked in Indian marriage rituals, very much respected in Indian marriage rituals. And because Venus, the significator of marriage, is also there, he was married. And though he is separated from his wife, but his wife have been the highest idol of what an Indian woman. In fact, I should not say it is like an Indian woman, Vedic woman, Hindu woman. I don't like using these words, right? Because that is stereotyping. But whatever is the traditional aspect of like and like the concept of this, like Indian lady kind of like, she should always support her husband. Even if the husband leaves her, she should be silent, but should not do anything which is damaging for the husband, etc. His wife is an full-fledged idol of that. Why? Because this Venus is going in the nakshatra of Bhaga. In fact, as I told you, from Bhaga comes the word Bhagavan. Bhagavan is Bhagavan because of his 6 qualities, Shad Aishwarya, and one of that is lordliness. He have Lagna Lord in 11th house. One of that is also Jnana as well. But I will not say that this Venus is giving him knowledge, because it is not house related to knowledge. Right? Planet is in nakshatras and indicate a trait in that nakshatras, but you will also have to see which house. Because someone will have that nakshatra in some house, some other person will have that nakshatra in some other house. It is dependent on the ascendant, and that's why ascendant is so very important in astrology. That predictive astrology is also told as Hora, and ascendant is also known as Hora, and Hora is also the D2 chart, and Hora is also a time division. So this word Hora is very important in astrology. But coming back, because it is the 11th house of fulfillment of wishes and desires, the nakshatra is Purva Phalguni, which is ruled by Bhaga, Bhaga, from whom comes the word Bhagavan, and Bhagavan is Bhagavan because of his 6 Aishwaryas. One of the six Aishwaryas is also indicated by Bhaga, the Vedic deity. Bhaga, the Vedic deity, this is also, and like Bhag as a Vedic deity is also one of the incarnations of sun god, Vedic sun god, if I may say. And because this is the 11th house of fulfillment of wishes and desires, it have given the Venus one godly quality, that is of lordliness. And owing to this lordliness quality, it have made him rule over a lot of people. So whenever you see a positive planet, apparently a positive house lord in Bhaga Nakshatra, in Purva Phalguni Nakshatra, you can easily say that either lordliness or grace or knowledge, depending on the house, will be available in very superior quality in the native that is there. And lastly, Ketu and Mercury, both of them are situated in Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra. The same Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra where Saturn and Sun were situated in. With respect to that, I have said that it is very good that Venus have not came to Uttara Phalguni, because if Venus must have came to Uttara Phalguni, then Uttara Phalguni being occupied by 2 malefics, Sun and Saturn, he must have been afflicted in the company of 2 malefics. Now, what about Mercury? Is Mercury not afflicted? Mercury, because he is in his own Rashi, is able to take malefic influences to him. So despite the fact that Mercury shares a nakshatra with a malefic, he is not very much damaged as such. And as we have discussed, because it is Mercury, the 9th lord, in his own Rashi in 12th house, it does indicate that he will have Raj Yoga in second part of life, and also because it is an Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra. And I have already discussed that how Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra is ruled by Aryama, Aryama which indicates superior, Aryama which indicates lordly, which have made him superior. Why? Because there are 4 planets in the Aryama's Nakshatra, so gives him a lot of superiority. This Nakshatra is also very important. You should see in horoscope which is the Nakshatra which have maximum planets influencing it. Planets can be situated in the nakshatra, aspecting the nakshatra. How planets aspect the nakshatra? There are separate nakshatra aspects, right? It's not normal aspect that I'm talking about. But the nakshatra which becomes a spot which is influenced by multiple planets, that nakshatra become important. And the predictive implication, the result of that nakshatra also becomes very prominent in the life of the native. This should be underlined. Lagna Nakshatra and Moon Nakshatra generally talks about the life path of the native. That should also be underlined. And other house lord being situated in different nakshatras also indicate different result. That should also be underlined. Initially in the video, I discussed about that how without analyzing nakshatras, you can analyze Moon and Mars incorrectly. Also, let me once again, like Rahu's analysis is okay. Rahu you analyze from Nakshatra or Rahu you analyze from Rashi. In both the case, Rahu in the 6th house will make him Satruhanta, whatever be the case. But take Jupiter. Jupiter is situated in Dhanistha Nakshatra only because this is a Dhanistha Nakshatra, which is a positive Nakshatra, where Jupiter is situated in the 5th house. It is producing good result. Otherwise, 3rd lord in 5th house, 6th lord in 5th house should give him very bad result, should give him low intellect, should make him struggle with respect to intellect. But this result, 6th lord in 5th house, what you will say? One is worried about their child because of their thinking, plans, ideas, execution, speech, mentality. One will make enemies. 3rd lord in the 5th house, one struggle with respect to His intelligence, one struggles with respect to his ideas. Fifth house is ministership, third lord in fifth house, one struggles with position. None of that is true for Modi ji. Why? Because the nakshatra is Dhanistha, a positive nakshatra. So this Jupiter have become entirely positive. With respect to 11th house, with Saturn in the 11th house, it is fourth lord and fifth lord in 11th house. Apparently, fifth lord in 11th house makes a Dhani Yoga, but fourth and fifth lord, being the Rajyokari, is good in Kendra Kona, not in the 11th house. 11th house, in fact, destroys the Raj Yoga if you go by normal principle. But if you just keep it in mind that this is Uttara Falguni Nakshatra ruled by Aryama, which gives a superiority, you come to know that no, this does not destroy Raj Yoga. In fact, this strengthens the Raj Yoga. In fact, because the Lagna Lord is going into 11th house, we should otherwise make him rich. But he's not rich, he's more powerful. Why? How this Lagna Lord in 11th house, which is Dhani Yoga, have changed from Dhani Yoga to Raj Yoga? Because Venus is situated in the nakshatra of Bhag, which one of the qualities of God, one of the 6 qualities of what makes God God, the Shad Aishwarya, is not God being wealthy, is God being powerful. So how it converts the Raja Yoga to Dhani Yoga is something that is to be noticed. In fact, Mercury, which is the 9th lord in 12th house, though 9th lord Swarashi in any house is supposed to be good, but generally you will see in analysis that if a planet achieves good position in bad houses, exaltation, Mul, Trigon, Varguttam, etc., in a bad house, but planet is a good house, as in Lord's good house, it disturbs Raj Yoga a bit. It diminishes the Raj Yoga a bit. But it does not happen in the case of Modi ji, right? 9th lord, despite being in the 12th house, is not very problematic for him. Why so? Because it is in the nakshatra of Aryama, which indicates superiority. So nakshatra becomes the saving grace here. This is the differentiation when you analyze the horoscope with respect to nakshatras. I am not saying that normal analysis is bad. Apparently, normal analysis is good. Normal analysis we have to do. Without normal analysis, we cannot do anything. But what I am trying to say that at the end of the normal analysis, you know the planet is good. You know planet is going to give Raj Yoga or Dhani Yoga. In fact, it can give both. But to fix on one point whether it will give Raj Yoga or Dhani Yoga, or to say with 100% confidence one result, you will have to use nakshatras, which I am going to teach in detail in my forthcoming Mastering the Nakshatra course, which I am going to start from the middle of September. That course, description of the course that I will give in the description, like details about the course, how to join it, etc. Website link I will give in the description of this video. So if you are serious about studying astrology very seriously, you want to know about nakshatras in depth want to know nakshatras in depth in this 70-80 hours course, then you should definitely join it. Thank you.